Welcome to The Long View. I'm Joel Goobich. In a world increasingly focused on the immediate, The Long View is about thinking beyond the moment through longer time horizons, better decisions, and a deeper appreciation for what compounds over time. This episode features an essay from the Food for Thought by Joel Goobich Substack publication. Let's begin. Shut up already and start giving back. Have you noticed that everyone seems to have an opinion about what's wrong with America? Turn on television, scroll through social media, listen to almost any podcast. Everyone has a diagnosis. Everyone has someone else to blame. The older I get, though, the less interested I become in who is to blame, or even the diagnosis of what's wrong. What interests me much more is a different question. Why do so many of us expect more from society than we're willing to contribute to it? I've been thinking about that question for a long time. And from my own long view perspective, I keep coming back to one simple idea. Somewhere along the way, we've become so much better at taking than giving. We expect good roads, safe neighborhoods, functioning schools, emergency services when we need them, parks, libraries, and tons of opportunities, good jobs. We expect all of these things to be there when we need them. Yet we spend surprisingly little time asking what we owe in return. To me, that's much more than a political problem. It's a cultural and societal one. We're slowly forgetting that citizenship isn't simply about having rights. It's also about accepting responsibilities. This is a two-way street, not a one-way street. One idea keeps coming back to me, and I believe that it's doable. It just means that we have to be honest with ourselves as a society, as adults in society, and say, what kind of youth do we want to graduate into our society so that they become the future that we really need? I believe every 18-year-old should spend 1 year in public service before moving on to college or beginning a career. I'm not talking about only military service, although I think military service remains one of the highest forms of public service. But this 1 year would be paid for by the taxpayers, providing a stipend, room and board, health insurance. We're going to invest in our 18-year-olds so they can invest in themselves and the society they're going to inherit. I'm also talking about conservation projects, helping after natural disasters, working with the elderly, assisting in hospitals, tutoring children, rebuilding parks, improving trails, repairing infrastructure. The list is so long. We know it is. The actual assignment isn't really what matters. That's the details that can be worked out. The lesson really is the investment that our youth need to make in the society that they are going to be in charge of. Pretty soon, during that year of public service, young people would spend time with other Americans they might never otherwise meet. People with different backgrounds, different politics, different incomes, different religions, and certainly different life experiences. But they would come out of it together with a common life experience. They would stop seeing people as labels and start seeing them as real people. I think that's something we so desperately need. History tells us that this idea isn't as unusual as it may sound. In the 1930s, the Civilian Conservation Corps during the Great Depression put millions of young Americans to work building roads and parks and trails, public infrastructure that we're still using today. Those young people certainly learned practical skills, but I suspect they learned something even more valuable. They learned that being part of a society means contributing to it. John Kennedy captured the same idea in a single sentence that most of us, at least anybody of my generation, knows by heart. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. It was true in 1961 when he said it, just as it is in 2026. We've admired those words for decades. When I read, listen, or watch news, commentary, and even entertainment, I believe we've stopped living them. I think, unfortunately, we have turned things on their head because it's not about the we right now, it's about the me right now. Would 1 year of service solve every problem we face? Of course not. It wouldn't eliminate political division and it wouldn't erase inequality. It wouldn't suddenly make us agree with one another. But I do think it would change something profoundly different. It would remind us that we belong to something larger than ourselves. It would teach that freedom and opportunity don't simply appear. Someone built them for us, before us. Someone maintained them. Someone sacrificed so we could enjoy them. Perhaps it's our turn. No, not perhaps. For certain, its time has come. I don't know whether mandatory public service will ever become reality, but maybe that's not the important question after all. Maybe the better question is much more personal. When was the last time any of us asked, what am I giving back? After writing this essay, I've come to ask myself as well, and I feel that I've come up short. I've discovered that some of the oldest ideas have a remarkable habit of surviving, not because they're old, but because they're true. Thanks for listening to The Long View, and to this essay from Food for Thought by Joel Goobich. If it was worth your time, there's more from where it came from. Follow the show wherever you're listening, and read the essays at joelgoobich.com. If someone came to mind while you were listening, pass it along. That's how these things travel. I'm Joel Goobich. I'll see you down the road.